Right, everyone. Welcome to All Snake No Lake. I'm Arthur Machado, your host for WSUM 91.7 FM Madison, and I'm very excited to be here with all four band members of Fleece. Can you guys introduce yourselves, introduce the band, and describe your sound a little bit on your own words?
Yeah, I'm Matt. I am a singer of Fleece, and I play the piano, and I'm kind of our leader, I guess. Yeah,
Pretty much, definitely.
pretty much. Everyone else will introduce themselves.
Because he told us.
Yeah.
I'm Ethan. I play drums in Fleece.
I'm Jameson. I play the guitar and I move my hips.
You also sing.
He's a
now.
good dancer.
And I say, oh, I've got a
Yeah,
vocal
Jameson.
guitar.
I saw the music videos, the So Young music video.
Good.
You guys
You know,
were jamming.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were jamming.
We have fun. That's pretty much it.
I am
My name's
Arthur Mach-
Megan. I am a band member in Fleece, and sometimes that means I play guitar and I sing.
And she's head
That's
of
Fleece.
I'm head of the hat department in our band. It's a very important
She
job.
chooses who wears hats and when.
Did you pick the cowboy hats?
Oh.
Yeah, you picked a lot of them.
I did actually. That was
Ethan
part
did
of
I
my
loved
job.
that.
Pretty-
By the way,
pretty
Losing
responsible.
Time, such a great music video.
You like it? That's so good to hear.
We'll get there. It's on the list. But yeah, you guys just ended practice today, right?
Yeah, we did. We're actually leaving to go on tour tomorrow. So we just are figuring out our set, trying to sound as good as possible so people like us, and hopefully do a little bit of dancing and see us on tour.
It's our last rehearsal before we leave, and I think we sounded pretty good.
And that's the first question. What are you guys looking forward the most on the upcoming tour? It's been a while since that was a Fleece tour.
So excited to be on stage with these people and just look at each other, and there's like this energy you get when we're like smiling at each other on stage, because sometimes you're playing and you're like, what's happening? I'm so confused. Like, where am I? It doesn't really sound like our practice room. And then we look at each other and I'm like, oh, it's so fun to be here with my friends, and it just all starts to make more sense. I'm excited to be with this team. I'm also, we're opening for this band called Jukebox the Ghost, and they seem like the funnest people ever, and I'm really excited to make new friends.
Yeah,
Me too.
real.
Yeah.
Matt keeps calling it summer camp, which is exactly
We're
what
going
it's going to
summer
feel
camp.
like. Yeah.
I love that. Especially is this gonna be the first time you guys perform with the new lineup? Perform
Oh,
with the new
with
lineup?
Not the new
No,
lineup,
no.
but definitely the first time since March 4th, 2019.
Yes.
March 2020, sorry.
We did 2 tours as this lineup. The last tour we did with Tokyo Police Club, Gabe was still in the band, and we had 2 bands essentially. One where Gabe would play bass, and one where he had to go home to go to work. So we would do the 4 of us the other half of the time. And so that was a lot of work for sure. But it worked out really good, and it was fun to see the difference in our sound. But now we kind of have crafted our new sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, and been working with this lineup for years now. So we really feel so excited and comfortable playing with each other.
Yeah. It's been about 2 years for us.
Yeah, like.
And how would you guys describe this new Fleece era?
Oh my god.
Very fleecy.
I'd say stunning and
Love that.
It's stunning and
Yeah,
atrocious.
it's that simple.
It's half rock, it's half rock and roll, it's half lush beauty. Like, and I think in terms of the future of us, I don't know which direction we're gonna go in, but like, I think we have this beautiful juxtaposition, if
Yeah.
I were to be pretentious for a second.
That's a great.
You have all the
plain
right to be
great word.
pretentious.
Yeah.
Studying Attrocious is so good. Like, by the
We
way,
love-
congratulations
we love
on
all
releasing the new album.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you. We're
Yeah.
so excited.
That was our baby. We spent a lot of time making sure it was something all 4 of us just like equally liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leica is looking at us like so in love right now
like
with
I
all
can't
of us
believe
right now.
like how her luck here. Let's see if we can do this. Like,
Look
it's
at the
just
Leica
looking at me.
cam.
Oh my god,
You
so
are
happy.
so
They're
happy.
all in the same place at once.
Aw. I love
She
this.
listens to our practices, and I'm convinced she knows our songs now. And we were playing All My Money, and she was doing a little like,
That's her favorite one.
Yeah,
I
she,
think it's
she like
okay.
not
think it's
along
okay.
with the songs.
The next album is gonna have some Leica barks on the background.
well, actually, there's one on this album that's fake.
Yeah,
Did you
you've
hear
you've
Yeah.
gotta look out for
Did you
it.
hear that?
It's
I did not hear the bark. I can't believe I missed
It's in
it.
that. It's in like that.
Listen to the last chorus. I like it a lot.
At one point we say, just like the dog.
but it's a sample.
Amazing.
And sounds like it a lot, but it actually says like the dog.
Just like the dog.
So for all you super fans, go
Amazing.
and do your homework and find them.
It's a group vocal at the end.
You guys took a big hiatus from releasing new music since the last album, and I do want to know like the biggest takeaways from this hiatus, which extended during COVID. But yeah, for each of you, just the biggest takeaway.
The biggest takeaway, like what we learned in that 4 years.
Exactly.
I'd say like I feel like we just found our sound in that hiatus. The biggest takeaway was finding like it felt it's so easy to be in the practice room now, like and just play and write. Like it's almost like second nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. We gained that, I would say.
I think we figured out how to write together.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. It's like before it would be like mostly Matt doing like most of like the heavy, most of the writing kind of thing. And then this time like it all really started with jams and like, everything was just really organic and like made together. And we like, did studio time and rehearsal time and phone recordings and everything. And like, we just like learned how to write songs that we like.
And also, so like everyone can, it was writing their own parts and like, it's this cohesion that we've learned how to get.
Yeah, for sure.
Without having to be like, can you play this? Which is like nice. Cause like that can just create a bad vibe when it's like, can you just play that?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there's so many like genre influences on this album too. Like there's definitely like the traditional Fleece sound, but it's like I can definitely hear some funk, some Motown, some jazz.
Yeah.
And is that where that all comes from? Like each of you bringing your own perspectives?
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, we all have different like musical projects that we do on our own time as well. So like and also different musical influences that we grew up with. And so to bring that all to the music room, and each of us as individual musicians are like feeding each other new ideas all the time and just bringing all these different influences to meet in some middle ground place, which at the end of the day is something new because we all have these different influences. So it's just a weird witch's cauldron of all these sounds.
I love that. And like for each of you, just go around. Can you guys name your biggest like influence that you believe you brought to Fleece? Like musical influence, be it a genre, an artist.
Yeah.
I do want to know.
I mean, weirdly enough, on this album, there were a lot of like production moments that I personally chose inspired by Casey Musgrave's Golden Hour. Like I could really list out moments being like, that was an intentional rip off or taking the idea from this mindset inspired by. That's
You're being too pessimistic to yourself.
Yeah, no.
That was a blatant rip off.
It was.
Like
No one's listening to the album and going, yeah, this sounds like
obviously a blatant rip off of Casey Musgrave's.
Everyone getting the
Honestly, if somebody
Casey
did,
hits.
that would be such a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that.
We spent a lot of time touring and like we listened to a lot of music together in the van, and like I feel like we like made like some choices at some point to be like, that's funny you say Motown, like that is totally like a conversation we had a couple times to be like, oh, Motown is so sick, it'd be cool to be able to do like a kind of a rock version of that's like that feels like authentic,
Also, like bringing up just the van, because we were on tour so much, we just were listening to albums together and realizing that we wanted an album that would sound good while driving a car. And even though that's not really a specific genre or influence, it was just like more of a vibe.
What about your influence?
I have like originally like folk influences, which means a lot of Joni Mitchell and Gillian Welch, just personally, and then Adrienne Lenker and Big Thief are just like huge inspirations to me.
Big Thief
and
is so good.
So good, and so much heart and power in their music. And James Blake and Moses Sumney are also just amazing in terms of production and like new sounds all the time. So I don't know, all those guys, I like them.
I love that. I love the blend that comes out of all of these great influences.
Yeah. But also a major thing for me that across all of those is the amount of detail that you can hear in vocals in all of those artists' work, like, which I think something that we really put an effort into on this album is just like having vocals be like very up close and personal, and there be like a lot of intricate soft moments and clarity in the way in how close you can hear the vocals.
And yeah, you guys mentioned that you've toured a lot together and a lot of the sound comes out of that. Are there any memorable tour stories, any fun concert stories that you guys want to share?
Oh my God, all I can think about is when you got punched in the face.
What?
One time I got punched in the face, yeah.
Santa Ana, California.
Hanging out with a fan we're hanging out with a fan of the band after the show, And then there's like this girl came up and like started like yelling at us and talking to us
And
all
wanted
day.
to smoke some weed.
Yeah, and then
And then someone had to join, like some fan
the
had to
fan
join.
had to join.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like she started yelling at us and stuff. We were like tried to disengage, and then like anyway, whatever. Then her boyfriend got all aggro and punched me in the
He
face.
came out of nowhere and just
Jesus.
it was wild.
He
It
was
was our
really
first
drunk.
experience of like, because we're from Canada and like, you know, like usually like if someone's too drunk in the street, like it's pretty rare at an indie rock show for it to end in a fight.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden
We
he
were
just like
ready.
threw punches and he was sitting down after like so wasted. You could tell like he was just like his inner monologue was like, not again. I can't believe I did it again.
Oh,
And
no.
It was extreme. And then
What?
afterwards, like, it wasn't really our fault, you know, like this guy was
This
just
guy
like
was-
all of a sudden threw a punch. And then I was going to like, I went to the venue manager after to just like, you know, we have to get paid and like just say bye and stuff. And he kind of looked at me like, you know, like, we never have fights here. Like your fans is bringing some super negative energy kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel so misunderstood. Like,
Yeah. It was
That's
like,
we're like
terrifying.
the band that brings fights all of a sudden. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, we're
right.
like pitching peace and love and
They,
things
like-
like that. It did
Yeah, it
not come through.
the weird part was there was like it was the guy threw it like we were walking away and he sucker punched me as we were walking away.
And
But
ripped your
then the
shirt.
fan we were hanging out with was wearing like the yellow Voyager shirt and like got involved, and then this guy was like fighting the fan and like was trying to get me.
It was so
And then I, like,
A full-on brawl.
Yeah, I
It
got him in
was.
like a headlock, and then the cops came and they were
Yeah.
like, "Do you want to press charges?" And I was like, "I don't really know. Like I'm from
No.
Canada. Like I don't really know this
Let's
guy."
just move on.
And just
So-
the girl was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. He's like a vet. Like don't like get angry." I was like, "You guys deserve each other. This is awful."
So that was the most fun we've ever had on tour. Definitely the best.
I was thinking about the time we ran out of gas in New Mexico.
Oh, that's a better time.
That's
Yeah.
a classic.
Well, I feel like
Do
just
share.
to go back to that other one for inspiration, I feel like that inspired us to like maybe like be aware of other people.
I did it.
Be aware of Americans.
It was the
We're
first
scary.
time we ever tried that.
Now I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck with people. Well, we don't really fuck with people, but if people are trying to like be funny and like be a little bit weird, like and
We're like,
they're
we have
angry, I'm
boundaries
gonna
here.
like maybe take a step back.
Yeah, we were already trying to disengage, and we should have just continued to disengage because
Yeah.
that girl was full of beans.
One time we ran out of gas though, if you want the quick story, and
Go
Megan
for
was
it.
like, Megan was telling us like a lot of stuff that she'd been holding on to about being like the only woman in the band, and we were like listening really intently and having like a really good talk. And
Yeah.
she like had like, you know, like minutes and minutes of things to say, and then all of a sudden I look at the gas tank and it just says like 0 kilometers. I'm
Like not just zero. Like
And I'm like,
we're in the middle of the desert. It's completely like no gas station for
And-
fucking miles.
in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and we had to turn to Megan and be like, sorry to cut you off, like, and you're really like, this is your speech that you've been like thinking about for months, but like the car's being really sexist right now and really wants some gas. And
the
wants
gas
us-
tank
wants you to-
mansplained me as
wants
well.
you to stop talking.
Yeah.
And then we stopped, and then Ethan, there was a Navy air base next door, and Ethan tried to walk into it with Crocs on. And they looked at him like, what the fuck are you doing here? What kind of person are you? What is this?
It was like an air.
It was an Air
like,
Force
it was an
base.
Air Force,
Military base.
American Air Force base that Ethan tried to get in and get a jerry can from.
We
But
need, yeah.
all of a sudden, like the 6th car that came by after we stopped, like it was like this like really nice couple in the early 20s, and JMO hopped in their car and they just brought us gas, and they came to our show the next day. It was really cool.
Yeah,
A great way to make friends.
That's nice.
Yeah.
For
Everything
anyone
was
there
like-
looking for advice, just get stuck on the
Yeah.
middle of the road. You get some friends out of there.
Exactly. You should try
Yeah.
it out.
And choose really opportune times to tell your friends how you feel. That's also
Also, just
And-
check the gas more often.
yeah. Check the gas. All these.
But then after
And
that,
wear
we filmed the
Crocs.
park video. We filmed the park video in the New Mexico park. That was just like a really epic Fleece day, honestly.
There's a lot of good times been had.
On the topic of videos, like I feel like y'all have really great videos, amazing cinematography. As a film student, I have to compliment you guys because it's great.
Thank you.
Oh, great.
We
And,
filmed it ourselves. No kidding. We don't,
On
we
an
don't have to do that.
iPhone.
We have no idea.
We work with some amazing people for a couple of videos. We've worked with our friends Dylan Mitro and Pony Hair Off. That's what we did for Losing Time, and they killed it. Sick people.
Yeah, as of this interview, it came out about a week ago, and it's amazing, like the Western influences. That one shot with Matt in the dress wearing the field, so beautiful. And
I know. It's really funny to
My
like
Anne of Green Gables.
film these like very beautiful shots, but just in the context of Fleece, they're always hilarious, even though they're like so sick and beautiful and amazing.
what's
Did
the
you
story
think it was
behind
really
that video?
serious?
Oh no, I mean,
It was like after we filmed it, like we definitely we're like, oh my god, people are gonna think maybe we're being like offensive or something to cowboys, and then we're like, wait, actually everything we do is a joke. I think people are just gonna get it.
it's great. It's a really good video. What's the story behind that? What drew the inspiration to do like a Western themed Fleece music?
Well, you know, for me, I think because me and Ethan were sort of talking about it because we're getting into Charlie Crockett. We went through a country thing, and Charlie Crockett has like
Going through.
Yeah,
still going through
definitely.
a big country thing. I'm loving it. If you don't know Charlie Crockett, he's coming out with a new record, and he's awesome. But he has like these like really cool Western style videos, and we're kind of like inspired by that.
And the song itself is super Western vibes.
Yeah, there was kind of like the last minute. We've had this song written since November of 2018. September of 2018. And we've tried to record it a few times. And like when we play it live, it's always a huge party, but recording it, we could never get the energy. And then one day at rehearsal, Matt was like, let's try and make it a little bit country. And like, I mean, it's not a country song, but the sounds of like Jameson's guitar, we went country with it, and that kind of opened up that kind of made the song work finally on recording.
Also, queering cowboys is fun. Like
And
making
important,
queer
yeah.
cowboys is always going to be a good time.
Yeah.
The Village People did it 40 years ago, and it's still as trendy as ever.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like you guys have a really, really solid social media presence. Like, I have to mention this since the AJJ parody days until like your amazing TikTok. I was binging them, coming to this
Thank you.
interview. So funny, and I do want to know like, what's Fleece's relationship with social media?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, for Matt of Fleece, I like it, but sometimes it makes me a bit crazy and second guessy about, life. And I think a lot of people experience that. But I think it's just such a good platform for us to like put our shenanigans on. And Ethan's been like slaying, putting all our shenanigans on TikTok. And I mean, I think we like just like putting all of everything on any venue where people can consume it. I mean, people want to see shit, so we're like, let's just like be ourselves on camera and be ourselves on social media. That's the only way we know how to do it. Like, you can try and fake a presence on social media. Maybe it does work, but like, I don't know, everything we are on social media is just us, and sometimes maybe a bit too us.
Yeah.
Except for
That's a good thing.
When I'll post something and Matt or Megan or Jameson will send a text like, Ethan, that one was a bit much, and I'll take it. I don't have to take it down.
What did you post?
So
That
for
was
all of
way too
the
long.
nipples,
Yeah, but Ethan had like this guitar tuner just clamped to his nipples, and the first one was like he posted it again, and I was like I don't know, I don't know what my mom
Like,
wants
what
to
is
see
this?
this.
Yeah.
What version of ourselves are we
But
repping?
it's like, it wasn't a like 2-hour moment.
It was
We
a
were all
moment.
tugging on my nipples.
Yeah, it was like
So yeah, we were tugging on them like that.
Yeah.
for all the
line that
shenanigans
gets
that
said
you
is that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
just
Again,
for all
that
the
one- that
shenanigans
one
that you
goes-
see, there's like a deeper vault of the weird shit
Yeah.
that doesn't get shown. Like,
I am
that's all
scared
that
now.
happens. Yeah, we're scared too. That's what happened.
We're getting better at filtering ourselves, though. I think.
Yeah.
There's
In
definitely
public.
a conversation that's been had many times. Like, some of these videos are just for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one and fucking losing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we keep secrets,
That was
Just so you know.
The one TikTok that just I burst out laughing, I sent it to everyone, was the Ethan flower tasting test.
Yeah, it's so good.
Wait, which
I watched
one?
the flower tasting.
Oh
test.
yeah.
Yeah, we just pushed it like that. It's so funny.
That was
Ethan's
so
just gonna
good.
have a talk show one day.
Oh, it's gonna
It's gonna be
go
so
horribly.
awkward.
It's-
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah,
Cringe talk show.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No live audience.
Ethan, I have a question just for you, which is
Ask it.
how every single video, every single TikTok mentions your golden retriever energy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I always loved it because they're like such happy dogs. And then like in the last 6 months, I realized that people call their like stupid boyfriends golden retrievers. And honestly, I'm still into it.
The thing about Ethan is he
Yeah.
kind of just likes attention.
Yeah, so like, and, like I do. I get
I'm
it.
happy to be interviewing you guys.
Yeah, like I am kind of like a peppy dog that'll just go with anything. It's just here for the ride. So like it makes sense.
Also, golden retrievers are hot, Ethan.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
hot dogs. It's all good.
Somebody get a bun and some mustard.
That's a
Some
hot dog.
dogs.
Yeah, if Ethan has golden retriever energy, I do want to know for the other band members, what dog breed energy do you guys give off?
Oh. Oh my god. Stop.
No way, that is so not real.
I think
I'll take it.
Oh no, I can't do myself.
You're a husky.
Oh, that's
Nice.
hot.
Jameson's
They go like this.
definitely-
Oh.
You're definitely a blue healer.
Yeah, you're a blue healer.
yeah.
You've got
Yeah,
that.
take it back here.
No.
I think I'm a great Dane.
Yeah, yeah, that is so it.
Big
Like
John.
Just something that's like
royal and
skinny and
tall.
like.
But like one of those strong-faced, tough-eared ones.
A whippet. I'm a whippet.
Yeah,
A whip.
I'm a whippet.
Every whippet
Very
is
fast.
called seafood. That's
Yeah,
the
very
name of
fast.
it.
I'm very fast. You ever see me in the creative process? I'm like, go, 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 boom, done.
Yeah, he's flipping and bopping and whooping and.
Go, go, boom, 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 done.
I feel like I'd be a too big dog. Like it'd be like a.
Husky's pretty good for too big.
No, I want to
You
be
look
like
like-
floppy,
you
or
look
where when it
like
runs, like
a-
its whole skin and everything goes like.
Mountain dogs?
Yeah, you could be one of those. Those are very majestic.
What
I
are
see
the
that.
mountain dogs? Like.
Burmese mountain dog.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I really want to see this fan art for all Fleece super fans listening to this interview. Just get them on the dog breeds. That would be
Yeah,
so
they
good.
are.
We're sticking with Burmese mountain dog, blue healer, golden
Golden
retriever,
retriever.
like in like
Whip it.
adolescent.
Whip it. That's a great
Not a good
team. Can
Look
someone
at the
make a
whip it.
cartoon of us
Exactly.
Like,
looking like that? That's really what I want to see.
Hound dog.
Go.
Hound dog.
Going back to the album, Setting Attrocious.
Okay, definitely.
Wait,
This is a whippet,
Oh,
sorry.
look,
For all the fans out there.
no,
who's
I can
making the
see
fan
it.
art.
I can see it.
If somebody does
Sorry,
make the dog
asking a
voice,
question, I cut you off.
No, that was the best cutoff I've ever gotten. I'm glad I was interrupted by the whippet.
The whippet.
But yeah, it's just my favorite song of the album. One of my favorite Fleece songs. I've been listening to Fleece since high school, so like I really appreciate you guys coming here. I'm a huge fan.
That's so
Yay,
good.
That's so nice.
But yeah, I really like So Long. It's been
Yeah.
mostly on
me
loop. Can you guys tell us more about the track, creative process, the meaning, like everything?
Yeah.
It was
Dissect it
made
for me.
so long ago.
I can tell you, I remember so vividly.
Yeah, I have some special
You
moments
go.
about it too.
I'm out.
For me, lyrically, it was kind of like, it was a very stream of consciousness in the studio, but we had this kind of like, as a lick. When we came back to practice, we kind of pieced it all together like a puzzle. We had a couple jams. And then I was like, yeah, this is definitely about the world. Just like, we're in a new world. We're in a fucking new world and we're never going back. And it's that social media world. And it's like a fun way to say goodbye to the old world.
Was it written before COVID?
It was
Yeah.
written before
Like
COVID.
it got so relevant then.
I know.
Mhm.
I have a knack for accidentally telling the future.
Matt's
Yeah.
a prophet.
He's a prophet by accident.
I-
Once in a while, there's one today where Matt said a
Well, this
prophecy.
hasn't come true yet, so you can't say it.
Yeah, or else it's not
Or
gonna
else
come
I'll
true.
jinx it. Oh,
I feel like you
But-
can't. The Canadian Nostradamus.
Well, at the beginning of 2020, I like turned to my friends and I was like, I'm not fucking doing anything this year. Like
That's no, your
this
New Year's
year,
resolution was to do nothing.
I was like, this year's a write-up. I'm not doing shit. And then all of a sudden COVID happened and like checks just started pouring in from the government. I was like, yikes. Shouldn't have said that.
There was one other thing
you
I
really
wanted.
said that so many times.
Yeah, I like literally kept saying it.
You're like,
Are there-
right
Are
off.
there
wanna
any
add one thing
optimistic
on-
predictions? Oh, go for it, James.
Oh yeah.
I wanna, wait, can I add one thing?
Yeah,
I'm so
go.
long. When we were playing it, we started like caught the lick. We were all like doing all sorts of different stuff, and Matt was like, "What does it sound like if we all play the same thing?" And that was like I think you really can hear that in the song.
Yeah.
I really remember that moment because it's like the whole thing is just like playing the same rhythm. Everybody's playing the same thing.
Totally. I think we sound really good when we're all playing kind of a similar part in a similar range, so that you can't really tell that it's three instruments playing. It just kind of sounds like one. And I think So Long really gets that
It's
going.
also one of the
I
first
get
songs
that.
we wrote as a 4-piece that made the album.
Yeah.
It was one of the first.
It was I would say it was one of the beginnings of Stunning and Atrocious for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Are you seeing this dog right now?
Any positive
I am.
reasons? Yeah. I would
Look
say.
at Laika.
She's
One
such a
day.
star.
One day.
I'm just
Awful.
so cute.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah.
What dog would like a bee if she was a dog?
Gold
Springer
Retriever.
Spaniel.
Oh yeah.
No, what
Boring.
human would like a bee if she was a human?
Ooh.
Got 2 thumbs and is the answer to that question.
That's the real answer.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
They're
That's true.
attached.
Like would be an infant.
I want to talk a little bit about like the Fleece aesthetic and just the art style because I feel like you guys always kill it. Like the singles for this album feel very like 60s, 70s inspired. There's
Yeah.
the Voyager Spiral, which is great. And I feel like with the new album, you guys released my favorite piece of Fleece artwork with that
Yay.
Demogorgon.
Yeah. The Stunning and Atrocious monster that like accidentally has 18 dicks on it.
It somehow looks like a vagina.
Hey,
It's
there's
very
the
phallic.
picture.
It's very phallic.
What's the
and it's-
story behind that artwork? Because it's great. Like I am completely intrigued by it.
I was like hanging out with my mom, and we were like Fleece was gonna have a meeting that day about what we were gonna do for album art, and I was just like hanging out with my mom, and we were playing with collage, and I was just taking like models like wearing couture outfits, and then I just took like sea anemones and octopuses and took all their heads and put like fish sea anemone creatures over. So I have like this booklet of all my first like collages that I made in inspiration, but basically, yeah, it was like couture outfits with like sea creature, like faceless heads.
I love it. Very Lovecraftian.
But then,
Yeah,
and then we
but-
decided to get it to be a to do
be
a
a
photo
live
shoot.
model.
It took a while to get there.
It did.
There
Well,
was
we had
There's just a lot of collaboration involved. Like we
Yes.
ended up getting an incredible artist named Sophie El Hassad to make the mask, and then a friend Owen is the model, and another friend Kaylee who got the costuming from one of her friends who made that outfit. So it was like a lot of people involved in
very
in
community effort.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was all friends.
I love that.
But what was I gonna say?
They like
Something
took a long
about-
time to get there.
Oh yeah, Dylan, who usually does our art but retired
As of recent.
as of
yeah.
recently. He,
Aw.
I know it's too bad. He's so good. He's more in the furniture business
Yeah.
now, and he's like, I don't really do graphic
I don't do graphic
anymore.
design. He makes furniture.
Sorry.
He's out.
He's a huge inspiration for a lot of our aesthetic, and he's incredible. But he was drawing the Stunning and Atrocious monster, and it was just like it was lacking this like 3D-ness. So we're like, we want there to be a mascot, and this is what it ended up being.
Yeah. It wasn't really.
This mascot.
It was kind of like
Yes.
our way of making a collage.
Yeah.
Like a real life collage kind of.
Oh yeah, with
Totally.
with people community collaboration.
Yeah.
Which is also something that some feedback that we've heard about the album too before musically is that it does sound like a bit of a collage in terms of like influence and sound and genre fusion and all these different things that it's just a mix of all these different elements, which feels very true.
Yeah.
Great way to tie it all back together.
I know how to write
Look
an
at you
essay,
guys.
babe. That's my university
I
degree
can do a
shining
degree in
through.
German.
Don't ask me to speak.
As you guys mentioned multiple times, this album, so many different influences, so many different musicians that like influence you guys, so many different genres, and just this Fleece blend. And I do want to know if there's any areas in music that you guys still really want to experiment in, like just get weird, very experimental.
I talked to Jameson about this briefly, and I guess I've mentioned this in the past, but I think in terms of next things, I'd love to like do like an EP or a shorter album that's just really cohesive, like a pretty similar sound throughout, whether it's in the Lush direction or whatever direction it is. But it'd be super fun because we're so fast at writing. I think sometimes we like spend so much time on songs and we kind of get a bit of perfectionist, and to make an album that would be super cohesive in terms of sound and done super quick, I think people would really fucking like it. It would kind of have our jam space kind of vibe. And now we have this interface where we can record directly in our live room. So the future of Fleece it has a lot of potential in terms of where our sound's going to go.
I'm really excited. Yeah.
Talking about doing a lot is like you were saying, we kind of took 4 years to make this album. A lot of that was figuring out how we work together. And now that we're there, as I was saying, we're so fast and like, it's not going to be 4 years for the next one.
No,
we've already started.
I could definitely see us going like really experimental and jammy, and then also going really pop.
Yeah. We'll probably do both.
I think we can go both ways. Like expect like a experimentally pop EP. Let's expect
experimentally be poppy.
Expect the unexpected.
I'm so excited now. Just see Fleece get completely experimental with this. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And this one's for Matt and Ethan. Like, Fleece has been around for a good while. Looking back, what advice would you guys give to yourselves back when you guys formed the band in 2014, around that time?
Hone into your humor side more.
I was gonna say, don't take yourself so serious. Don't take your music so serious.
You guys
For sure.
did the same answer.
I think like after the LJ video, we were like, we got so much feedback about how funny we were, and like we're like, we want to be serious musicians.
Yeah.
And like if I could go back in time, like it was such a big, like, it was pretty life-changing for me in terms of like, you know, like everyone after the LJ video, like people would stop me on the street and be like, you're the guy from that video, and just like I was like, is everyone just liking me for the video? And I had a lot of internal things happening after that. And if I could talk to that person, I'd be like, it's all good. Just don't take it too seriously. Don't listen to people's feedback as much. Just do you. For sure. I think now I'm in a place where I feel so that way. And I think the LJ video is fucking hilarious now. Before I was like, ew. Like, ew, the LJ video.
I think another big piece of advice I would have loved to give myself is that if people like want to work with you or be around, they're gonna make an effort to be around and work with you. Just, there have been so many like people who have tried to like be manager material or members of the band or try to booking agents or whatever, and they just like kind of string you along. Where really, if the person wants to work with you, they're gonna be there.
They'll make
Megan and Jameson wanted to be in the band, and they made it work. Our current manager wanted to be our manager.
Oh yeah.
Work. Like
that's so
like,
real.
Killing it. Yeah, I'm like, so
add to that.
Do it, add to it.
And we'll
it's
also
work you too.
We're working with people we like, I think, and we get along with. Like before, I think we were like focusing like it's got to be the best label, it's got to be the best manager because we were told that's what you should be doing in this career. But like, no, we're just working with people that like we want to talk to every day
and hang out.
Because like this, it's about the process. Like if you're just in it for the product, like you're probably going to be upset a lot of the time because the product is only like a really, really small amount of the process.
Yeah.
That's so wholesome. I love it.
It really is.
It's good. It's good advice.
We give a huge shit about like feeling good as a team and then making art from that point onwards. Like we really are friends with each other.
I hate you.
No. No, you love me.
I do love Megan. I love
the real Fleece were the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Are we different than you expected or like kind of the same?
I don't know. I feel like I've been following Fleece for a really long time. Like I remember back in early high school when I was like starting to play bass, I heard Gabe's song and I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And I spent like weeks and weeks trying to get Gabe's song down. I feel like back in that era, I expected you guys to be more serious, but after like doing the research and seeing the TikToks and the music videos, you guys are pretty much like what I expected. You guys are friends.
Right.
That's the vibe you guys give off on like all your social media, that you guys are just really good friends.
That's who we are.
We're
nailing it.
Hell yeah.
We actually don't like each other at all.
When we hang up on this call, we're just gonna all walk out silently and not say anything to each other.
Oh no. And
we don't shut up.
and
last wishes and prayers.
I do have one more question.
Yeah,
I asked this to everyone back my radio show for this summer was called That's So Cringe, where I just played a lot of guilty pleasure music and like Gen Z nostalgia.
I actually
that is
love
so
that
good.
so much.
I do want to know for each of you, what is your musical guilty pleasure? Something you're kind of embarrassed to say, but like you sing it on the shower.
ABBA!
Amazing, stop.
Why
That's
is it?
not a guilty pleasure. They're just
Some
It's,
people make me
it's
feel
just
guilty
great.
about it though, so that's why it's guilty.
Sure. Okay,
Alright.
fine. Sorry, I shouldn't take that away from you. But
Give me my ABBA!
that's my ABBA. I'm saying that because ABBA is my pleasure, and my guilty
True.
pleasure
That's fair.
is Last Resort by Papa Roach. Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. I
Great.
used to love that fucking song. Is it by Papa Roach or is it Finger 11?
It's for Papa Roach to get fingered 11 times.
Oh no!
Jesus.
There's this.
I'm so glad this is not live on radio. The FCC would have been
You're
like
gonna
rating
cut
me
this
right
out.
now.
There was
But
this remix that TikTok was really into that was like Adele's Rolling in the Deep mixed with Rollin', Rollin', Rollin' by Papa Roach and some other DJ that my roommate was really into, I just absolutely love this remix. It's so shit, but like
It's a
it
great
always gets me
answer.
happy and excited.
And yeah, Jameson, your guilty pleasure?
Mine's obvious. Obviously, Drake. I listen to only Drake. It's one of these songs, one of these things I can't listen to with anybody because no one wants
I
to
love
hear
Drake.
Drake. I feel like everyone's like, can we listen to something else? And I just like always just put it in my headphones and I'm listening to all the Drake, every Drake.
I
that
feel
there
like
was.
Alone and a Little Bit Sad is the way you should be listening to Drake though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, so
Oh, also before I forgot to say my influence for the album, which was I think Tame Impala.
Oh yeah.
nice. Yeah, that's a hot one.
it's there.
Do you guys have any parting words? Anything you'd like your fans to know? Anything at all you guys want to say?
Okay, fans, stay cool, stay swool, stay sexy, be yourself. Okay? That's what I have tattooed on my lower back. And I repeat it to myself.
Stay,
Oh,
repeat
I
that.
love
Stay
Stay
cool,
Stay
stay
cool. Stay sexy and be
Stay
yourself.
sexy, be yourself.
Yeah. Do you want to see the tattoo?
I do.
It's
Please.
not safe for word.
You can't see
Oh,
it.
no.
But yeah,
We're
thank you
on that
guys.
one. You'd have to make a
Thank you guys
donation.
so much for
Thank
coming
you.
to
You're
Lost Nick
welcome.
No Lake.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Like as I said, I've been a fan of you guys since high school, and it just means a lot to be able to have this
that the
opportunity to
first-
talk to you.
Yeah,
it's
it was
such a
honestly really
pleasure
great
to
to talk
talk
to you
to
too.
Was
You
Gabe-
were wonderful.
Was Gabe's song the first song you heard of Fleece?
I heard, I think it was Wake and Bake, and then Gabe's song, and like that's where it all started.
How did you find out about it?
A friend sent me Wake and Bake, and then I was looking Fleece on YouTube, and I saw that live video that you guys did of Gabe's song with like the full horn section.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you guys were literally the coolest. But yeah. Either way, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And thank you for listening to I'll Snake the Lake. Thank you for watching I'll Snake the Lake here at WSUM 91.7 FM Madison. I'm Arthur. This is Fleece.
Hey!
And thank you, everyone.